welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American Go4GuildWars2 monthly finals. We have our final matchup ready for you this evening. That's going to be the Absurd up against Spooky, who just came through a thrilling victory over Radioactive in that 2-1 matchup. Before we head into the finals, though, we do have some giveaways, of course, still going on. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, of course, we have our personal Twitter giveaways, so go ahead and head over to @CT that would be me, and of course, @GameWithStorm for Storm. Head over to our our Twitters, and follow us on that Twitter, and go ahead and retweet our latest tweet. It'll say retweet this for a chance to win a giveaway that is for an 800 gem code.
Each 800 gem codes each.
So that's two separate giveaways. Also on the ESL Twitter, actually, you can go over there as well, and that will be right here as well. Twitter.com/ESLGW2. You can head over there and use the hashtag Go4GuildWars2 hashtag to go ahead and enter yourself. Just tweet them pretty much anything. Talk about the games. Talk about how excited you are, even for something like Pro League as well. Just
favorite play from the last series, because there were definitely a lot of plays in that last series.
And that will enter you into the third Twitter giveaway. However, that's not it. Throughout this entire stream, and even I still believe it's continuing, Nikki has been in the chat with you guys giving away shirts, and I believe we have given away or are going to give away actually one of these little guys right here, Charlie. So make sure you guys stick in chat. Make sure that you guys are checking that out, because we want to give you guys basically everything we have. You know, it's we enjoy your guys' participation and viewership, of course.
Yeah, of course. Like you said, if you don't have Twitter, be sure to participate in those Twitch chat giveaways. Guys, we are just waiting on a few guys to join. But any insight for this final matchup? You know, the Absurd have reigned dominance in every single monthly cup we've had since November of last year and have never dropped a game in a monthly cup. Do you think now could be the time with Spooky?
That's a tough one. I mean, absolutely a tough one. Spooky has not had the same track record that you used to see them have versus Team Absurd. I mean, in the past, we've seen players like Sunfish and stuff come with teams, and we're kind of the opening teams to kind of start taking cracks at the Absurd and getting those games really close, where we saw games like 500 to 490, 500 to 460, getting really close to taking them out. But recently, we just haven't seen the same level of play from Spooky. They've had a couple of players that have been out. You know, Happy Kid was on vacation last week. You know, we just haven't seen the same level of consistency from them as of late.
And I think with the announcements of Pro Leagues, which we're going to rehash again at the end of this stream for those of you who missed out on that announcement, I think with the announcement of that really might draw them back into this, you know, battling more, competing more, and practicing more as a team to try and get back to where they were and even get better than they were and try and take out the Absurd. Let's go ahead and actually take a look at what we have for this first matchup on Force and Niflhell, as both teams have joined us in this arena. We have the Absurd over here on the red with Spooky over on the blue. The Absurd all joined up. Take us away.
Yeah, looking at Magic Toker here first. Going to be playing that Dagger Pistol Thief as usual, bringing that Char Fashion swag out. And he's going to be picking up that Rune of Vampirism and Marauder Amulet here. Going to be taking, of course, Deadly Arts, Shadow Arts, and Trickery. Up next, we do have Nos, the Necromancer for this Absurd team, going to be picking up Staff, Dagger, Warhorn here, Rune of Strength, and Celestial Amulet. His traits being Soul Reaping, Spite, and Curses. Next, we do have the first of two Dagger Elementalists for this team. Going to be playing with Rune of Vampirism and Celestial Amulet here with Fire, Water, and Arcane. Wakey going to be the next one. Going to be picking up the same build actually with Celestial Amulet, Rune of Vampirism. Going to be taking Fire, Water, and Arcane as well. And finally here we do have Chait, aka 5 Gauge, going to be picking up the same build as he usually does as well. They just feel really comfortable with this, and that's going to be with the rifle, Soldier Amulet, Rune of Strength, and he's going to be taking Explosives, Alchemy, and Tools with his build.
Yeah, nothing changing here. If anything would have changed, it might have been 5 Gauge's Amulet going over to Marauder maybe, but Soldiers obviously has proved to be a little bit more dominant in his skill set on the Engineer. Now taking a look over here at Spooky. First up we have Happy Kid running DP with Shortbow, Vampirins, Marauder Amulet. He's going to be running the same thing as Magic Toker was with Trickery, Shadow Arts, and Deadly Arts. Mime going to be the Mesmer for this team. Those guys with the Deadly Duo as we saw in the last set. He's going to be running Greatsword with the Staff, Vampirins, Berserker Amulet, as well as Domination, Dueling, and Inspiration, taking that double mantra and Signet of Humility. Watch out for that Moa onto one of those Elementalists and spiking it down. Shnicky, first of two Dagger Elementalists as well for this team, running Vampirins, Sully Amulet, running Fire, Water, Arcane, as well as Kodo going to be running the exact same thing, nothing changing on his end. And Spooky Stream, that would be Sunfish. The final member going to be running what Nos was running. He's running the Staff, Dagger, Warhorn with the Rain of Strength, Sully Amulet. He's going to be running Spite, Curses, and Soul Reaping.
Yeah, so what we have here is definitely a pretty interesting setup. We have basically a mirror comp situation happening, of course, with the only difference being Mime playing Mesmer for Team Spooky, as well as Chade playing Engineer. But it both essentially accomplish the same thing. I have a little bit of pros and cons to go with each of them, but for the most part, they're both there for the skirmishes. They're both there to assist in some of those team fights and setting up some 2v1s and helping with taking down those targets, and especially with Chade being able to cleave those down states. I mean, they need to be careful.
And these guys have an immense amount of pressure, so it's really going to be up to who can keep it up throughout most of the games. And if we see Happy Kid and Mime come out from these gates, dominating these Abjured members, taking them out left and right, we could definitely have a game on our hands as the winner of this going to be crowned your September monthly champions. We'll have to see how this first game goes in this best-of-3 set on the Force of Niflhel. Looking at the opening, so it's 5-member push for the Abjured. I cannot say I've ever seen this from them on Force of Niflhel. Maybe way back when, but this is odd, and it's really bad for Spooky because they're sending 3 and they're re-stealthing to that mine point.
And you have to wonder what they're thinking. I mean, this is, like you say, something that we haven't seen pretty much ever, going for that aggressive start, leaving the home node. I mean, we haven't seen this, at least in a long time. I believe they actually did do this quite a long time ago, definitely before the June patch. But, looking at it right now, it's actually working for them, as we already see Sunfish taking a lot of pressure, forced off the point. He's basically just kind of caught in between points right now. It looks like we're seeing a little bit of support coming out from this blue team, but it's just not enough. I mean, looking at their health bar, Schnicky, not healthy. Spooky Stream, not healthy. Happy Kid about to go down. Man.
I mean, this is just really bad. Spooky Stream, you expected him to go down. He was under a whole lot of heat by Nos and 5Gauge, who let up for a little bit, got a little bit of support from Mime, but even so, they came back and finished the job. Each team holding a cap, which is ideal for Spooky. They're okay with that, but they really need to make sure that they can regen themselves back at midpoint. Look at the Abjured, 100% HP across the board, and Spooky is not sitting well.
Yeah, not at all. They're still in the game, though. They still have the opportunity to turn things back around. We saw this with Team Faded, where they lost control early and kind of made an attempt to get back here. So
yeah, coming out of a respawn. Spooky Stream able to get the decap pretty easily. No one for the Abjured sitting around there. That's kind of uncharacteristic of them to not rotate back there, knowing there was respawn. Schnicky taken out below the keep here. Nice pickup for the Abjured. They continue to outnumber Spooky across the board and potentially going for the sides here. They should be able to get the 2 cap with Sunfish picking up the cap over at the henge.
Yeah, it looks like Happy Kid actually was able to kind of sustain that fight long enough to make sure that they could get that 2 cap. So now they have the 2 cap on both side nodes. They're going to be able to come back a little bit. They are looking pretty healthy. It looks like Happy Kid's going to make that adjustment all the way over. And this is a great play from them, great rotation, because now Spooky Stream might be able to go now into play for him, and he's already in it. So he's going to be able to hold this one off for a little bit longer, unfortunately taking a lot of burns, which is pretty much the plague of plague.
What is Schnicky doing right now? Why is Schnicky going to the midpoint? Why is he forcing 1v1 against 5Gauge? I don't understand, because they hold the point at henge. You hold the point. You have a lead right now. Now Spooky Stream is going to die in the 2v1, and you're probably not going to win mid anytime soon. I don't understand that rotation by Schnicky.
Yeah, definitely a misplay, a little bit of communication breakdown there for sure. I definitely think that he should have made the adjustment over there. Even if it was a 2v3, they would have been able to sustain that one a lot longer, because now they're going to be losing that guy at mid, and they're going to be losing that control of henge, and that's a big loss for them.
They held the point. To understand that, they held the point. Spooky Stream was able to stay alive in that plague for quite some time, and Schnicky could have made it easily there in time to help him out, get him off point, get some heals onto him. I don't understand that rotation by them. It's just a misplay, if you ask me. And now we see possibly a decap from Happy Kid. No, he's going to burst. Oh, Phantom! Oh, just decimated there. And Nos actually got res on the other side of the map, but Phantom able to stay alive just barely because of Vampirins.
Yeah, and this is really unfortunate for the blue team here. They were making a little bit of a comeback. They had some control. Great play from Sunfish. They had some great rotations, and then all of a sudden they just kind of fall apart a little bit. I mean, not letting Nos get back up is very bad for this scenario here, because I mean, he would have been able to respawn and come back onto this node eventually anyways, but he wanted those 5 points. He wanted that a little bit of control. You wanted to make sure that Toker didn't even have to come over here, because now he's in a position where he can get that player back up, come right back over to the midpoint, and provide some pressure onto some of your other teammates.
Oh, there's a portal coming out there to get that last second cap on the henge. That was I don't think that was intended to be used for that, but they needed the cap. I think they missed it by a second there, a split second, and 1 cap in each team's favor. Spooky actually holding on quite well despite a very poor opening on their behalf. The Happy Kid taken into the downstate. 5Gauge keeping up this pressure. There's no way that res is going to be coming out from Schnicky. There's no way. I don't see that coming out. He should not be sticking around to that. We do have Spooky Stream around the midpoint with Wakey, but even so, I think right now Spooky needs to disperse from mid. They need to play sides, because Toker already going for the decap on Henge. There's no reason for Spooky to play this midpoint, if you ask me, especially with Wakey, one of the best DDLers in the game around here in 5-gauge, making his way back up to this point. Toker, you're getting a decap over on Henge. I just don't like some of these decisions on Spooky, though they are doing an excellent job in team fights.
Yeah, this is the point, though, where Absurd starts actually taking control. They have Nas in a good position now to control this back point. Kodo here is going to be finished off. They have full cap there. He's going to be pulling off over towards the mid fight, where they expect to maybe turn that one back around, where Wakey right now is getting very low. They do have Chase pulling off, but Nas is going to be able to come in here and possibly
Ooh, they took out Wakey.
Wakey's definitely going to make an adjustment over towards Nas, though, and does indeed. So Nas is going to be going for that res in just a matter of time. Does indeed go for it, but the stop still, disconnected there. Wakey's going to be taken out, though.
But that's okay, because coming off a respawn, Kodo knew that Nas went there, knew that the back point was open, able to get a decap. Starting to fix some of these rotations. I like this from Spooky, holding themselves still in this game, down just under 50 points. Trying to make something of this, now, having a little bit of a skirmish between this mid node and Mine, holding them off so that they can get the full cap over at the Mine, which is good, but Mine needs to be very careful. He actually gets taken down there by the FGS from Magic Toker.
But now they have that 2 cap in their favor here, so they have an opportunity to basically get some points back onto the table here for themselves, and now Kodo has to control a 1v3 where I don't see him able to hold off, so they're definitely going to lose that cap. They already lost the midpoint. They are getting control of it back, though, in the meantime, as Nicky is the only one on the point.
The Happy Kid going for a decap over there at the Henge. This is good rotations now from them. Have to see, I liked Kodo's decision to lead that fight. He's still alive, still staying alive, probably going to be taken out, but he's forcing 3 members back from the Absurd, which allows Schnicky to get the full cap on mid, but he's going to be hit hard unless he gets support. He's got Knots and Toker coming in here. Schnicky has 2 cantrips. We'll have the third one up in a couple seconds, but he knows the heat's going to be coming down from Knots and Toker.
I mean, Absurd are still holding on very, very tightly. I mean, they're still doing a great job. You're seeing a lot of the same moves that you see Absurd making, but I haven't seen them this out of control of the map in a while. They haven't been making the same level rotations that you normally see them do. Vanoram being taken out, he is going back over to the node there, but Spooky Stream there, Sunfish going to be going ahead, getting that stomp, and now they're going to be regaining control of the Hinge node, but it's all going to come down to this key point, because Nos did manage to come back and get control of that. However, if they are able to stay alive long enough for their team to get back over there and provide some damage to Toker.
Toker throws an SR, should be okay. Was it worth it? Oh, Schnicky might be taken down, able to keep himself alive just, but was it worth it giving up the mid cap and just having a decap on Henge? Now they're giving the Absurd the 2 cap while having a 1 cap, which ultimately speaking, it would have just been a 1 cap in each team's favor. Now the Absurd going to start to get a little bit ahead in points. But by this time, would you have expected 289 to 205 at this point in the game?
I mean, they're definitely doing a good job. Like I was saying, I haven't seen any team really kind of control the map as well versus the Absurd in quite a long time. I mean, Absurd still have a pretty handed lead right now against this Spooky team, but they've been able to kind of make sure that Absurd aren't able to force the control over to the other side of the map and basically force a neutralized Hinge point and just control a 4v4 there. That hasn't really happened at all this game.
Yeah, and now it looks like Schnicky going to be the main target over here at the Hinge. Oh man, Vampirin's popping for him. Nos and Toker are rotating so well this game, and I don't think Toker is going to let Schnicky out of his sight. He's coming for him. Schnicky does have about 50% HP. Toker has steel. He's coming for him. He wants it. And the decap coming out there at the mid node, but still sides in favor of the Absurd as they have over 100-point lead with 7 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, it looks like Toker's going to be making his move over to the midpoint, but probably not going to be doing much there other than just kind of stalling people out. Looks like he's going to be stealthing up. We see a huge push actually coming out from Team Spooky over to the mine point here, where it looks like they're already trying to get an opening here. Spooky Stream right now not looking too healthy, was forced into Plague, but is going to be able to maintain himself for the meantime. Chase is in Rampage, but not for too much longer, and it looks like they're going to be going for Vanoram as their hard target here.
Yeah, that really hurts. That they don't want to get anywhere near that Rampage. There's a portal coming out there from Mime, retreating them to safety, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a push onto Knots, who is left alone on this side of the map. Look right now at where this red team is. They're all back around here, and we see a huge push actually coming out from Team Spooky. Question is whether or not Wakey can get there in time, and I think he should be able to.
Yeah, it looks like Spooky Stream just trying to stay alive right now, not able to do it. The Daze is coming out. He's going to be eliminated here. Looks like Absurd are definitely going to be finalizing this one.
Yeah, 100 points left for them to claim victory, but Spooky not quite out of it. We see Happy Kid throw down the SR, trying to get on top of somebody, but Nas with the Plague obviously was able to sustain himself. Didn't even need the Plague. Used it just at the end there. And Kodo, man, Kodo actually gets taken down there. This is 3v2 for the Absurd to help out. And, you know, Spooky kind of left in a bit of disarray right now, unsure of what they need to do. The Absurd going for Chieftain just to clean up the game and finish it off. Nobody for Spooky even relatively close, so it's almost safe to call it for the Absurd, but Spooky, they held their own for most of that game.
Yeah, absolutely. That boss kill is definitely going to be a huge benefit there, to their cause there, and that's going to be finishing the game there, if not anything else. So, I mean, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a chase down over here on the eastern side of the map. Looks like Chase is trying to keep the dream alive over here, but, you know, this is definitely going to be going in favor of Team Absurd as long as they can hold on to this hinge point.
Yeah, and I don't foresee that being lost anytime soon with Nas and Wakey, or excuse me, Phantom and Wakey in this area. Both DDLEs, I don't think they're going down anytime soon, and it's safe to say the Absurd probably going to be taking this game #1. Now, the question is, already on map #2, what do you think the odds of Spooky holding on as well as they did in this game are on Legacy the Fofire?
You know, I'm not so sure because, I mean, they were able to hold on for a long time here, and I mean, they got down to 437 on the clock here, and they were down 200 points, but they're still pretty close. I'm just not sure if they're going to be able to make that translate into a game on Legacy of the Fofire where the Absurd are just so strong.
Yeah, I mean, that, like we pointed out when they played Team Fade, they are so dominant on that map, and when they beat teams on Forced to Niflhel like that, it turns out to be even a more brutal beating on Legacy the Fofire, so that could be very rough for them, but Spooky knows that. They know that from playing the Absurd time after time. They're happy to be in this final. They're going to give it all they have on that final, not necessarily final map, but on Legacy the Fofire.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't we take a look inside the game here as teams are going ahead and getting in. You know, taking a look at it, it doesn't look like anybody's really making too many adjustments here. I wouldn't expect to see any, at least. I mean, this is a team that has the ability to. You see sometimes Schnicky making the trade over to something like a Ranger, especially on a map like this. They have the option, but it doesn't look like they're going to be going with that, as Schnicky is still on his Elementalist. We're still seeing
I like that.
Everybody pretty much on the same thing. Toker's opting for the Thief over his sometimes that he goes with Inji. It looks like I said, everybody's just going to be going with the same setup, and they're going to try for round 2.
I like Schnicky on the DDLE still because it kind of showing they're not giving up here. They know that they could have done a few things better in that last game, and they held on for quite some time. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them attempt to do the same in this game. And they know they need to be very, very careful about what they do at the start of this one, because if any fight goes wrong, it really starts to just collapse on that and throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like both teams are going ahead and getting ready here, so it's just moments away from potentially match point of this monthly finals for September here. Again, this is what led up. This is the September. I want to reiterate here. We're in October. I am aware of that. But this is the September monthly finals because we got here through the September weeklies.
Yeah, the September weeklies adding up points for the seedings for all 8 of these teams in October here. So obviously the October monthly gonna be in November,
and that will be the last monthly, and honestly a pretty fun date for you, actually.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that next time. We'll get to that next time anyhow. But yeah, that will, like you said, that will be the final one. So these guys, their second to last Go4 monthly final before the Pro Leagues happen in November. As we said earlier, we're going to give you a little bit of another heads up on what's going down there at the end of the stream with Pro Leagues, as we did at the start of this one. But just waiting on these teams to ready up. Any predictions, not necessarily in terms of who's winning, but what Spooky can do to put out a decent amount of points on this map here?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to get control of the map very early on and make sure that they don't get too much of a deficit early, because that's basically what they have the problem with so far a lot of times on these legacy matches, where they just lose control early and they have to call GG, and that's very unfortunate. We hope to not see that in this potential match point.
These guys don't give up. I know that. Let's take a look at the opening split for both of these teams, as the Absurd will be sending Wakey to the quarry, along with Schnicky over to the waterfall. Fairly standard thus far. I'm expecting 3 to waterfall for the Absurd, and the same for Spooky. It's going to be a 1-1-3 split for both of these teams.
Yeah, it looks like already we're seeing pretty standard setups from both teams. No team's doing anything really crazy or out of the ordinary here, trying to win this match because they know what it means. Looks like blue team trying to set up a little bit of a burst play here on Wakey with Mime adding to this from Sunfish here.
Ooh,
they actually get him
whoa.
down to 30% on one single burst. Wakey now.
Why didn't he use his cantrips? I don't understand that. He had 7 bleeds on him. That's what killed him. I don't know why he didn't use both his cantrips. They're going to be up by the time he's back in the next fight. Very confused on that.
Yeah, and on the other side here, Kodo was taken down to about 10%, but was able to peel out and now get some HP, and he's going to be able to get back onto the graveyard. You know, although they lost control of this node, they're definitely in a great position to turn this one back around and potentially take out Chaith or even Nos here. Nos taking a lot of pressure still in the plague form. As soon as he gets down to 10% HP, they might be able to eliminate him immediately. He was not able to get into the Death Shroud at all, so now he's in downstate. Chaith is stuck in the tornado.
Wait, what? How did Kodo get... Kodo, whoa, why? He had stab. I'm very confused why he didn't go in for the stomp. Continue. Did he get knocked back still? Well, that was very odd. Indeed, but Nos still going to be cleaved out here. 5 gauge low. Toker's low. You couldn't have asked for better. Toker actually gets killed because the MOA landed on a thief. Mine was able to land a MOA onto Toker. Very odd indeed, and now they pick up 2 kills. This is actually a very good start. Despite no caps right now for Spooky, they couldn't have asked for better in terms of cleaning up some of the fights, but they really got to start to pick up some of the points later.
Yeah, they need to take out Fanaram quickly. 5 gauge just cycled back in, full health, has most of his cooldowns ready to go. Other than that, Elixir X does have the option to go ahead and eliminate the plague. If it should come out from Spooky Stream here, it doesn't look like it's going to happen yet, but he needs to watch out for it. Actually, he did it early to set it up because now he's at about 30% HP, doesn't have too many cooldowns left, cycled out of Death Shroud, so that's on cooldown, has no Signet of the Locust, so this is his only form of heal here, but does manage to get into that Death Shroud. It looks like Fanaram was forced off as well. Second.
The things are starting to heat up over at the quarry, where we do see a 2v2 in the process. Wakey, I believe he held on to a 1v2 for quite some time there. Now Toker going to help him out. Oh, big burst play coming out from Happy Kid. Wakey might be taken down, uses his heal. Not going to be able to have that healing coming out from that Signet. Has double cantrip up, but Happy Kid now on top of it, might be able to take him into downstate. Already used Water Tomb, but Happy Kid throws down the SR to save himself. As we see Paper Form coming out there from the Vampirins, and Wakey's just running all over the place, barely keeping himself alive. Signet not up for another 10 seconds, has Water Tomb it, and the Abjured need to clean up this fight if they want to start to see progress. Oh, Happy Kid finally coming in and finishing the job on the Wakey.
Yeah, they need to get some interrupts now, get some damage down. Toker down to about 10% HP, almost getting dropped. Wakey was pick-tagged up, but they traded basically. Toker is now in the downstate, but they're going to get the res here, and they're getting a lot of heals actually. Nos is the only one across the map here who's
there's
getting
a
pressure.
Rampage, and Mime is 2-shotted there from about 50% HP from those auto attacks, and Kodo going to be in a similar situation. Oh, the rock lands! Didn't crit him. I think that rock critting would have taken him out, but now Kodo's got 3 members of the Abjured, not letting him out of their sights.
Yeah, so Abjured is going to win this one. They're going to gain control back of Quarry. They already have control of Graveyard, so this is a great opportunity for them. Nos was able to hold off 2 members of this blue team here. One in particular being the Necromancer and the other being Schnicky, of course. They did manage to get the Waterfall Cat, but unfortunately this is actually advantageous to Abjured because they're going to be able to park themselves on Graveyard and sit in between these 2 nodes. And then if they win a team fight, they're going to be able to sit on the neutralized Waterfall that they just love. They eat that up.
Nos, nice fear on to Schnicky. Schnicky needs to get on to this point. 50% HP. Has Lightning Flash. Not sure why I didn't use it to get on that point. Very much could have avoided that decap. Very much. And now he's just going to be into the Vampirins there. Oh, nice burst onto Toker there. Coming out. Oh, Mime in the area as well. Going to pop those Vampirins onto Toker. Toker has Wither Drop in a couple seconds. Double dodges. Wants to make sure he stays alive. That is a valid time to double dodge when you're on the last few last few hit points there. And now we have a little bit of a fight going on both the midpoint and Waterfall, but the Abjured starting to surge ahead in points.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely getting some control of the map right now, and Spooky is eliminated here. Actually, Toker dropping a lot of heat from that fiery greatsword there, pardon the pun, but Happy Kid now forced off as well. Toker just trying to follow him out, but he's not looking healthy himself, so he's forcing himself into the SR. Still, though, Abjured so much control of this entire map even, and they could potentially actually turn the Waterfall as well.
Over 100-point lead right now, and Schnicky going to be in a lot of heat coming out from Nos and Wakey. Going to pick up the kill onto him. Moving back to Graveyard, though, where we have Mime against Toker here, as well as Fanaram. Happy Kid in the area, going to try and spike down Toker once again. Happy Kid's done a great job of getting on top of low targets all game long, Just hasn't been quite in sync though with Mime for the most part. They really, I don't feel like they've been together a whole lot of this game, and not to say that's the reason for what's happening on their end. They just haven't been able, they've been winning fights. They won fights at the beginning of the game, but they really never finished them.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, it's just the Absurd all over the place right now. Kodo taking so much pressure, going to be dropped here over on the Quarry as he's at about 1,000 HP, and 2 members of the Absurd are just all over him, swarming him right now. Panoram and Shade trying to take him out. He does have water cooldowns though, so he might actually stay alive for a little bit with that lightning flash, get that free reposition there, and he's going to go ahead and cycle on out and try to get out of combat here, but you got to watch out for those.
Not sure what the lightning aura there was from, but despite that, static, or yeah, and then we see a Moa onto Wakey here come out from Mime, but Mime actually taken down, so really not going to prove to be much of a Moa at all, really not doing a whole lot. And there's the 3-cap coming out for the Absurd to a 200-point lead here, and this is what we were talking about with just utter dominance on this map.
Yeah, Kodo going to go over to try to support Spooky here, trying to get that that 1v1 slightly tilted over towards taking Nos out, because that's definitely going to be a big pickup for them, getting some control of the sides here. They were able to get the decap over on the Quarry, but if they can get it over on the Waterfall too, they have an opportunity to turn it back around. Because you have to keep in mind, I mean, that Lord play is always something that they could go with.
And they are able to get the decap, but Spooky Stream taking down Kodo doesn't want to have anything to do with that. And Nose Toker's right on his rear end and going to try and gets Panic Strike, but Water Attunement up, Cleansing Wave up, should be able to keep himself alive. Sneaky in there as well. Taking a look over at the Quarry. Looks like Mime in a 1v1 against Panoram. Wakey is looking at him, but a decap at the midpoint actually comes in the, in the wake of Wakey just kind of sitting over there near the Quarry.
Yeah, it is a 5v4 in favor of the Absurd right now. Kodo getting pressured so hard right now. Wakey all over him, along with Toker, who's been following him through for a while here. But Happy Kid putting down some burst in a tangent with Kodo here onto Toker, but he's able to sustain for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, Schnicky was taken out actually over between his own base and
the
Waterfall, so they're going to go for it right now.
Yeah, Nos 50% HP, doesn't even bother to reset.
Schnicky actually went for the Vapor over towards the Waterfall, just a couple of inches away from being able to get up on top
what exactly?
of that.
5Gauge and Nos think that he's going for the res or something's happening over here. No, they just wanted to get the gate. They didn't even want to go for the Lord right now. Odd play, I must say. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't just go for it. I really am. But Toker wasn't close or anything. They probably might want him in the mix, as well as an Elementalist or two. We'll have to see what they decide to do. As they do hit 350 points, they can go for that Lord play at any given moment if they do desire for that extra 150-point boost.
It's definitely a safer option, though, to just go ahead and control this 2-cap. They have such a huge lead right now. They don't want to give anything up the chance. They want to make sure that they control the map. Nos has Waterfall locked down. Shade is doing a good job of holding off this Necromancer here on the Graveyard. Of course, he's not going to be able to win that in the long term, especially once it gets plus, but they're going to be able to hold off on that for a little bit longer, especially now that Happy Kid is in downstate. Actually was able to get up, but they basically just forced him into a corner and forced Mime to take some extra damage as well.
Mime got the portal, almost out of decap. Wakey able to get there in time.
Just like that.
As the Absurd take a 2-cap, but Spooky able to get the Graveyard. They should be able to get over 100 points here, but not exactly what they were hoping for this game, as Shade moving over into this point, putting out a lot of pressure onto these guys. And Mime looking pretty healthy, but Happy Kid was actually taken down near the Graveyard. Spooky Stream going in for the Plague Res. Will it be enough to get him up? I believe so.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to get back up, but Kodo not looking too healthy. Schnicky now in downstate. Nos was able to finish the job on him, so Nos going to solidify that Waterfall. They're not going to be able to send anyone over there anytime soon. And if they take over the Graveyard right here, which is looking like it might be possible, even though, I mean, looking at it right now, we're seeing Happy not being able to hold off. Spooky's being pressured so hard. Toker taking a lot of heat as well, but Wakey able to keep him alive long enough to help out.
And
he's able to get the heal at the last second, and Toker now is suffering from bleed stacks, able to get a nice steal off and get some health back, and now Spooky going to be dropped.
Happy Kid dodge rolls out of his Shadow Refuge, which probably wasn't going to be able to do a whole lot anyhow.
Yeah, he needed to hold that Shadow Refuge for that downstate. That was crucial for them, of course, but looks like Absurd. If they can hold off on this one, if they can
it's
kill
35
off
points away. They could go for the Lord at any given time if they wanted to. I do not see Spooky's way back into this one, even though, you know, a hard-fought series for them, especially in that first game, and hard-fought victories throughout the tournament to get to where they are, especially in that semifinal.
Yeah, that first series just dominating, playing so well, and then playing up against, or getting pit up against a team like Radioactive with subs like Knight, with subs like Urantian. I mean, they were playing great too, but just really just tooth and nail there, getting up to the finals and really giving it their all. Unfortunately for them, Absurd just had a little bit more to offer this time around.
That's definitely so. Congratulations to the Absurd. Going to be crowned your September ESL Go4GuildWars2 monthly victors, as Spooky will be grading second place in that, claiming $300 for themselves. The Absurd claiming $500 and $100 to both, I believe, Team Faded and the Radioactive team.
Yep. So I do want to say one more time, we are doing those Twitter giveaways. So if you head over to both of our Twitter pages, at CT Heurix as well as at Game with Storm, that was just on your screen for you. You go over there, follow us on Twitter, retweet our most latest tweet, then head over to the ESL Guild2 Twitter page. Use the hashtag Go4Guildwars2 to go ahead and tweet at them. You know, tell them what you think about today's tournament. Tell them what you think about Pro League. And actually, on that note, I want to talk about Pro League a little bit one more time in case you missed it.
Yeah, I believe we have the infographic up on the stream for you right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Give me a layout of what is going on with this picture.
Okay, so I want to give you guys dates a little bit here, and this is actually information you guys can find as well. But for the first preseason matches, which is going to be an open qualifier, that will take place between the November 14th and November 16th, which will basically be, it'll include qualifiers as well as some deciding match qualifiers that will...
Yeah, that'll be for 4 teams to make it into the Pro League scene.
Yes. And then basically what will happen after that is we'll see a series of 7 weeks worth of Pro League games, and that will be just like your regular season play, just as you would see any major sport events and anything like that, and it will lead up to a Pro League season finals, which will take place in one weekend as well. Throughout this, we will have a Guild Challenger League that is actually the guild ladder that was previously mentioned in some blog posts there from the GuildWars2 team over at ArenaNet. That is now called the Guild Challenger League, and teams will be able to compete within the game itself, within the confines of the game itself, and be able to queue up and play and be on a ladder. And if they play well, if they're a top team, they'll be able to compete with the bottom teams from the last season of the Pro League in a Challenger Cup, where they will compete. If they win that, they will then become a Pro League team to go on into Season 2, where it then repeats itself and then eventually goes into a World Championship, which will take place sometime next year, and that will be huge.
Yeah, I just want to rehash on the Challenger scene in the game. That is such an open opportunity for anybody to come into the game. If you play the game a long time, not played the game a long time, not done Go4GuildWars2 Cups, not even able to make it to the, the preseason, the open qualifier, it still gives you an open opportunity after a season is over in the Challenger League to work your way up the ladder and get into that part of the scene. So really looking forward to what's going to be coming of that. But, just to rehash what went down today, of course, Team Faded, along with Team Radioactive, going to that 3rd and 4th place match, going to be actually, falling to 3rd and 4th place. Of course, with Spooky getting 2nd place in the Absurd, crowned as your victors once again, yet to drop a match in the monthly cup. Let's actually take a quick look at this bracket as we have it ready for you on the stream. Let's go ahead and take a look. I mean, this is kind of, not necessarily anticipated. Radioactive really put up a fight against Spooky.
Yeah, they absolutely did, and we didn't expect that with subs, but those subs playing lights out. Knight making so many plays. Yura holding on for his team there, doing so good. I really hope that a lot of these players that we didn't necessarily see today with their original teams or with their primary teams coming through, because like we were just talking about, these teams will have, or these players will have the opportunity to create teams or join back with their old teams and make sure that they make it into the Pro League, because there is 8 open availability slots there for people to come through, and the competition is going to be fierce.
Yeah, I am so excited for the Pro Leagues. But guys, we do want to wrap this up. Thank you all for joining us and all the 8 teams for participating in today's tournament. Let's take a look. Heurix and I, you can follow both of us on Twitter. I am at Game with Storm. He is at CT Heurix. And of course, you can follow ESL on Twitter and on Facebook. I believe they're both at ESL GW2. So go ahead and do that for updates on the weeklies, monthlies, and the Pro League, I anticipate, definitely. So again, I want to thank you all, and Heurix, again, thank you for joining me. It was a pleasure as always.
Absolutely, man.
And we are going to be closing this up today. Thank you guys once again, and we'll hopefully see you next month for that final. Thank you.